Our Town in the Pacific Northwest. Another in the series of films to show you how your neighbors in the communities about you contribute to the overall happiness, prosperity, and well-being of the entire Pacific Northwest. We are about to show you our town, why we are proud of it, why we live in it and enjoy our living. For we think we know what comfortable living is. You've heard a great deal of Anacortes, Washington before, but when we get through showing you our way of life, you're sure to agree that we have good reason to be proud of Anacortes. This is our town, Anacortes. Not many of us view it this way from the air, but as you can see, we do cover quite a bit of territory. And most everywhere you look from our city, you see mountains of the mainland and surrounding islands. Here's our waterfront and our docks. Anacortes is situated on a huge island. Just a slim stream of water separates us from the mainland, and bridges carry us across that. Now maybe you'd like our main business district, everything you could want. And meet the mayor of Anacortes, Dr. Raymond Pinson. We interrupt the doctor at work.
I'd like to welcome the viewers to Anacortes, the biggest city in Skagit County, commonly called the gateway to the San Juan Islands. We feel that we have an ideal location for our city, and with the growth of Pacific Northwest, which we know is coming, we think we're in a favored position. From the view property standpoint, Anacortes has a very fine location. Many fine home sites in Anacortes have a wonderful view of Mount Baker. As a boating paradise, it's hard to beat. With the San Juan Archipelago at our front doorstep, it's a mecca for pleasure boaters, and also for saltwater fishermen. We have the largest salmon cannery in the world, large plywood mill, pulp mill, shingle mills, as well as some smaller canneries. And as everyone knows, we also have a new shell oil refinery at our back door. Anacortes was founded around 1890, experienced a period of boom and a bust. We hope that our present boom will continue, not break. Thank you.
As Mayor Pinson remarked, Anacortes is the gateway to the wonders of the San Juan Islands. Ferries to Guaymas Island, just like this one. And then here are the Washington State ferries that take you to the other San Juans, even across to Sydney, British Columbia. And what beautiful water trips these are. This is a normal line of cars waiting to board. Don't worry. They'll all get on. And they load pretty fast, too. From the air again, here's Anacortes, and in the distance, some of the 172 islands in the famous San Juan group, the archipelago of the Pacific Northwest. And everywhere you look, cool, green-covered islands, away from everything, yet with our methods of transportation just a short, pleasant ride. Now, to fly over the country as we did, you'd call Bill Savage, the Marine Air Incorporated, with his main base at Friday Harbor. Bill's an excellent pilot. San Juan people depend on him. For instance, he flies doctors on emergencies, and he's ready to go at a moment's notice. Here he is taking a summer resident and some necessary supplies up to an island home. As mentioned at the first part of this visit, Anacortes is situated on Fidalgo Island. Fidalgo is separated from Whidbey by this narrow channel of swirling waters known as Deception Pass. And here you see the inspiring Deception Pass Bridge, one of the many tourist sites of our islands. If you'd like to stop off for a moment and visit, there are places like this. And when you wish to camp or to picnic near Anacortes, we have the fine facilities of Washington Park and beautiful Sunset Beach. The park has all the conveniences for camping, boating, whatever you wish. There's a caretaker, a nominal charge, and you always have a clean place to come when you visit Washington Park. Perhaps you'd enjoy just plain walking along our beaches. In the evening, it's always a sight to please when the boats return. As you can see, the whole family enjoys such outings. Now, Dad's going to help this first youngster. Okay, how about the second? Well, she doesn't want help. Well, get down. Whoops. Kids. Bless them. And we don't think you can beat our boating areas. With all our wonderful islands to visit and boats like these well-built, dependable Rhinells, here's one with a plastic top. And it's pushed along with this Johnson motor. Many hours of carefree cruising. Reliable, quiet operation. Don't even have to pull the cord on this one. It's the self-starter Johnson. Speed, safety, sport, boating. We have hours and hours to give you on the waters near Anacortes. This is pleasant boating. Now here's a kit boat, one you can build yourself, just as this fellow did. It's fast and dependable, can go in any of our protected waters. Hundreds of boats like those you've seen, this one and the one before, cruise the San Juans every boating day. No wonder when it's fun like this. And of course, Anacortes has ample boat and dock facilities. You can rent boats or motors, or store your own, or launch your own. This will show you some of our small sport fishing boats, as well as a few of the other outboard and inboard cruisers, ready for fun on a moment's notice. Here's how we lift you up when you come back from your fishing trip. Now maybe it's time to go home. So you lift the boat up, and then you can just back the trailer right underneath. Away you go. Another look at our main street. There's the Fisher Music Company sign on Commercial Avenue. And of course, a center of our financial operations, People's National Bank.
You can see I'm not Liberace because I haven't got my candelabra here. Did you ever see a piano in a bank? These pianos are here because we have set aside this area in our bank lobby for our merchants to display their wares, with the idea of encouraging people to deal at home and buy from our local merchants. Anacortes merchants have enjoyed a big boom in Anacortes because of the advent of Shell Oil Company, who are building a large refinery in our area. This is a $75 million refinery and will employ permanently from 600 to 700 men. Because of the advent of the Shell Oil Company, Anacortes has had their first opportunity to tie their economy to a stable economy. Just because of that the People's National Bank have had such a faith in the community and in its future that we have increased our banking house facilities to just twice its former size. Our deposits have increased from $4,500,000 at the time 2 years ago that Shell announced their intention to build a refinery here to a present $12,800,000 as a peak at this time. It is estimated that the population of Anacortes, from its present 7,000 population, will increase in the next 10 years to a possible 12,000 people. Anacortes still has 2 large industrial sites that have not yet been used on deep water, capable of receiving ocean-going shipping, is served by a railroad. If you come to our town, either to live, to go into business, or just as a tourist, please stop in, even to say hello, and give us an opportunity to help you with your problems.
This is the reason for the new interest, the new look which has come to Anacortes. A view of the multi-million-dollar Shell oil refinery scheduled to be in operation early in 1956. And here are some of the results of the building of the new refinery. These are pictures of the housing and trailer camps, which are now home to the many, many workers employed to build the huge industry. Of course, when Shell is in full operation, that will mean new permanent homes like the ones you see here. And you too will find that Anacortes real estate planners are building with a future in mind. Here are 2 of the men in the building enterprise. They are John Utterstrom and Bill McCallum, looking at new sites. Let's hear from them.
When it became known that the Shell Oil Company was going to build a refinery here, and modern home builders and Linton Construction Company came in here to build homes and develop new residential areas, don't you think that was a wonderful thing for Anacortes?
John, this town was, of course, extremely thrilled with the news of Shell, and our first and immediate realization was that we had to have a lot of new homes. I think that the Linton Construction Company and Modern Homes did a terrific piece of work to get these fine homes for the people here as they came into Anacortes.
Well, I fully agree with you, and they have done a good job and built nice homes and permanent homes that people can enjoy for very, very many years to come.
They are the permanent type homes, very definitely.
I understand now that there are about 150 homes already constructed, new homes, and we'll have probably another 150 before we're through.
I believe that's right, probably 250 at least, John.
Now to a closer look at the new homes in Anacortes. This is the Brookfield Park edition. As you can see, these are fine, comfortable, well-built homes. The folks who will live here, who are attracted by the new industry and future possibilities, want the permanence which these homes impart. Incidentally, the month of June topped $427,000 in building permits. This is just a part of it. And folks like the J.F. Thompsons are moving in. One thing, when these and the other new residents of Anacortes are settled, they figure to be here a long time. As you can see, we're family people, and we've had the kids working too. They're mighty happy about their new home. And just look at those windows. This is their first real home cleaning. Now here's the result of moving in a little earlier. Lawns are growing, and of course the inevitable cutting. But already folks are getting settled. We're now in the Broadview edition. These, too, are fine, livable homes. One thing the real estate people made possible for their new residents was most important. When our folks move into their homes, the streets and sidewalks are already there. Now, as you can see, some of the lawns are just starting, so the family has to stay on the sidewalk. And the kids are pretty good about it, too. Yes, they're kids. Kids and pets, and a boy and his dog. Incidentally, the Anacortes planners anticipated this expansion and went so far as to build a new water and sewer system. Now, of course, the educational, the school needs of the new students and those to come is being taken care of. Here you see the addition to the Anacortes High School. And again, this is planned for greater expansion. Here are facilities not only for learning, but the games, the activities that retain the interest of young folks. And all this building not only attracts business from the outside, but brings to the merchants a prosperity and activity which firms like Coder Electric Company may share. And now another picture of our active dock, the Anacortes shipping area. Shipping is very important. Here's Mr. Lloyd Foster, manager of the Port of Anacortes.
Right now, we're down here at the Port of Anacortes, which is a pretty busy pace. Today, we're loading a Luckenbach ship with pulp for the East Coast. We are in the shipping and storage business and operate a small boat harbor for the benefit of pleasure boat and fishing boats as well. In addition to shipping to the Atlantic seaboard, we also ship lumber to Korea and Alaska and logs to Japan. In addition to that, we import oyster seed from Japan, as well as sulfur from Texas. Another branch of our business is the storage business. We operate 5 storage warehouses, and last year stored upwards of $12 million worth of salmon, most of it imported from Alaska.
As Mr. Foster noted, Anacortes has a large pulp industry. These scenes show more of the stored pulp, some of the warehouses. Pulp is an industry which contributes greatly to our shipping. Scenes like these mean business. And of course, one of these days there are going to be more freighters and oil tankers heading our way. We're to see more of this kind of activity in the very near future. Another business is the Standard Shingle Company. Have you ever been in one of these mills? Here you can see the huge cedar logs being cut to size. Perhaps these logs are 800 years old. And now they must be put into block form and trimmed. This might look easy, but it takes experience. The blocks now move along to the saws, and you're going to see shingles being made. Here you are. This is one of the most interesting of the operations, the trimming of the shingles. Here again, the shingle trimmer must be an expert. And incidentally, you've heard the term a shingle weaver. That's a special name given to the man who puts the shingles in their distinctive bundles. Well, we're going to show you how that's done. These men didn't learn their trade in a day. And now we'd like to have you meet the president of the Standard Shingle Mill. He's Mr. Russ Molker.
Now we are in the packing department here in the Standard Shingle Company, Anacortes, Washington. And this is the finished article after we review it for the cut-off in the machine. Now this man is packing what is called the California pack out of old-growth cedar, which we think is the finest shingle in the world. This is another packer here. He's packing of the same grade, but these are 20 courses to the bundle and 4 bundles to the square. Each square covers approximately 100 square feet on a roof. We have a series of 5 machines here at the Standard Shingle Company, known as the gold medal upright.
Not only will Anacortes have its new oil refinery, its shingle and pulp mills, its plywood industries, boat building, and lumbering, but our town can proudly say it has the largest salmon cannery in the world, the Fishermen's Packing Corporation. We'd like you to hear from the general manager, Mr. John Plansich.
Behind me you see the main packing plant of the Fishermen's Packing Corporation, which is the largest salmon cannery in the United States. What makes this the largest salmon cannery in the United States is that this building in back of me houses 8 lines of canning machinery. These 8 lines of canning machinery can process, and we can process through these 8 lines of machinery over 1 million pounds of raw fish a day. To convert that into cans, to give you some idea what 1 million pounds of fish means, that means that we process or can or do fill in one day over 1.5 million cans of half-pound salmon. In this plant, when we are operating under full capacity, we offer employment to the residents in the Anacortes area, an employment of over 250 jobs, of which is in addition to the hundreds of fishermen that supply the raw material for this plant. We feel that we contribute substantially to the picture of Anacortes.
Let's take a closer look at this Fishermen's Packing Corporation cannery and some of the finished products. Ocean Spray brand, fancy red salmon. Waterfall pink salmon. Snowcap, fancy salmon steak. All identified with Fishermen's Packing Corporation. The corporation operates in many areas of Puget Sound. Out at Cape Flattery, down to the Straits, the San Juan Islands, and of course, right around Anacortes. Our fishermen are near Tacoma, Gig Harbor, Seattle, Everett. All the packing is done right here in this city. Fishermen's Packing Corporation has faith in the future of the salmon, as expressed in this new office building. Let's get a closer look at the fishing fleet. During the busy season, our boats will be out. But right now we have a chance to show you some of them. One of the things you'll notice is that fishing boats are made with one idea in mind. They're sturdy, able to stand the heavy seas. Some of them have fancy names. Fishing is a particular business, and fishermen are a particular breed of men. They spend hours in preparation before going out. They work hard. Sometimes it may be a short season, but when the schools of salmon come in, then the men have to work many hours, and in a few days, several weeks' work is accomplished. This old fishing boat is said to be 80 or 90 years old. Here's a close-up of the Fort Bragg, the purse seiner. It's all ready, loaded, and just about to leave for the salmon banks. Our town, Anacortes, has its old-timers like Mr. Jim Wright, a spry gentleman of 80 years. Jim likes it here, and he's seen practically all our growth.
Well, sir, I've been here about 70 years now. Made it my home most of the time, but once in a while I'd wander away. Always, whenever I'd go away, I'd find out this is the best place to come back to. I've worked around here, different kinds of jobs, and when this town didn't amount to very much, just a little place. But now with this shell plant coming in here, and other enterprises talking about coming in, which probably will, the town looks like it's really going to amount to something.
We hope you've enjoyed your visit to our town. We have reason to be proud of our city and all the new industry and interest which Shell Oil Company and its $75 million investment of confidence brings to our future. We hope you'll come and see us soon. There's a great deal more to show you of our town in the Pacific Northwest, Anacortes, Washington. The following firms contributed to this film's presentation, and we take this opportunity to thank each one of them for their cooperation. Our town in the Pacific Northwest was produced by Ab Townsend. Filmed by TV Films of Seattle. Narration, Maury Ryder.